relax, be cool. Cause if you don't, you'll act like a fool, so be cool.
Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Yep, it's a re-quel kind of week. This opening's going to be a little similar to my Scream review. Only seen the first one, wasn't a huge fan. Not that I didn't appreciate certain elements to it, but it's just not my cup of tea, as slasher horrors tend to not be with me. At least if they're not creative. So, let's get into this one. This is my honest opinion of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A group of people travel to the ghost town of Harlow, Texas to do stuff. Turns out that the town isn't so abandoned when the young people accidentally trigger a heart attack in an old woman, played by Alice Krieg, who is looking after the folk legend Leatherface, played by Mark Burnham. When the old woman dies, Leatherface goes on a murder rampage.
Baby, I'm fine. I'm all right. Just go back to your room.
Again, I'm probably in the minority on this one. But I kind of had fun with this. It's dumb as shit. It is stupid as fuck. But I still kind of had a blast with it. Let me guess, as only a non-fan could possibly have. Sue me if that's the case. Since I feel like I have to defend myself here, let's do just that. But first, let's set the stage. For a slasher movie these days, it doesn't take long to discern if you're meant to take it seriously or not. Generally not, but let's pretend we're given options. Here's where the movie tips its hand. Bland-ass characters. Seriously, so much emphasis is on their motivations to moving out to bumfuck nowhere, but none of it sticks with you. Something about two of them being cooks, they want to sell the old property, I don't know, man. I feel like it's trying to be meta. You know, out with the old generation, the old movie, and in with the new generation, but it's so undercooked that I wouldn't be surprised if it went over people's heads because the audience is too smart for that shit. Hell, I didn't realize it until I started writing this review.
She's still alive?
She became a ranger here in Texas. She must have looked for that maniac for more than 30, 40 years.
As for the final girl, Lila, played by the way too good for this movie Elsie Fisher, she is clearly supposed to have a lot more to her. Problem is, it's not clear in the slightest what. Some vague-ass backstory of surviving a school shooting. Ooh, the intensity is intensifying. But apparently she can't take care of herself. That's why she's joining her sister on this road trip? Again, I don't know. The movie gives about as much of a shit as I do about it, so it's completely pointless and gets no development. The best I can surmise is she's a survivor. Thematic!
Hey, and you do. I know that you need me and that you can't take care of yourself. Wait.
When your writing is this bad in terms of the characters, which is a hallmark for many a bad horror film, you know not to take this shit seriously. And the only leg you have left to limp your ass over that finish line is creative deaths. While the violence has its brutality, it's really not that graphic, bar one or two exceptions. My type of over-the-top violence is gory, but brief, closer to an action movie type of thing. So when you have a title like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you have an obnoxious party bus full of millennials, motherfucker, you better rev up that chainsaw and I better see a pool of blood and flying limbs or I will throw a tantrum that will make 2-year-olds look dignified and posh. Hot diggity, did I get what I wanted. Sometimes it's the psychopathic homicidal little things that make it all worthwhile. Of course, one glorious scene of mayhem is not enough to make the entire movie enjoyable, right? There has to be more to it than that. Correct. It's the litany of horrendously bad choices that just hold this all together. There's this bit where the sister is talking shit about some random dude within earshot of him.
Who has such a small dick they need to walk around in public with a fucking gun? Like, I mean, is he compensating for something? I'm just...
Bitch, it's legal in Texas, provided you're at least 21, it's a handgun, which his is, and it's in a holster. If I'm not mistaken, in 2021, you don't even need a permit anymore. Also, mind your own fucking business. How dried up is your vagina that you have to judge a man for doing what he wants and doing it legally?
Sorry, big gun makes you uncomfortable.
I've seen bigger.
This scene where this chick does absolutely nothing to save herself, even when she has the perfect opportunity to run away and hide. You have characters that have scenes where they are shown to essentially die, but have one more scene in them before actually dying. This bus driver doesn't just drive the bus on out of there, and a reminder of why I love this scene all the better, these dumbasses are looking at a psycho trying to get him canceled instead of running away. Sometimes, you just earn it.
Try anything and you're canceled, bro.
There's only one thing that this movie does that I legitimately do not appreciate. It's clearly ripping off, well, a ton of movies, if we're honest. But very specifically, Halloween 2018, in that it's bringing back the original Final Girl as like a super commando here to take on the killer. Say what you want about the Halloween remake, I personally enjoyed it enough, but this movie is vastly inferior in its execution of this concept. At least with Laurie Strode, you understood why she was a super commando. She never believed that Michael Myers would stop hunting her, which he had no intention of doing, and was heavily preparing for his inevitable return. We got to spend time with Laurie, get to know her character, so on and so forth, but here's the weakness with this movie's Sally Hardesty. We don't get to know her. She's barely in the movie until the final act. That's not a lot of time to know her and see what she's been up to these last few decades. And seeing as how Sally is credited as the character who launched the final girl trope, if you're bringing her back, you better get her right. This movie didn't. She's just bland and badass with no depth to her. No depth in the bland main characters is one thing. Making a legacy character bland, that's pretty low. Sally deserved better.
What are you doing? Drive, please go!
50 years I've been waiting for this night. Just to see him again.
In hindsight though, it's probably not the worst offense. In my opinion, the cardinal sin of the movie, that's not Marilyn Burns. Burns tragically passed in 2014. May she truly rest in peace. Not that I have a vested interest in this franchise, but I understand the importance of characters like Sally. She should not be played by just anyone. That is Burns' character, and should only be played by her. Just like Halloween failed to recast Laurie Strode, this failed to recast Sally Hardesty. Make no mistake, I have nothing against... Oh, Jesus, her name's Irish. Olwen Ferrer, I'm so sorry for butchering that. I'm sure she's a fine actress, and in any other movie where she's a badass, gun-toting, aging woman out for revenge, I'd be totally down to see her, but not here. It was best to completely write off Sally and let the movie stand and fall face first on its own. And as I said before, she's barely in it and barely does anything. Wouldn't have missed much.
Remember me now? I'm the one who got away.
I won't give much else away. It's a load of crock, but it's a fun load of crock. And having watched this back to back with Scream, which made fun of literally everything this movie did, it made me appreciate it a little bit more. So I'm retconning my rating for Scream from a 3 out of 5 to a strong 3 out of 5. This was the perfect double feature. Fans of the franchise may not enjoy this. Dear Lord, this thing is getting raked through the coals. But as a non-fan, that's probably why I enjoy it as schlocky entertainment. Dumb as hell, but it worked for me and my bad tastes. My honest rating for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a 4 out of 5.
Say you know me. Say you know what you did to my friends.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.